Greetings, Earthlings! Before we start exploring, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, wherever you're listening. It helps more people find the show and supports our mission of making science accessible to everyone. You're here with DJ Stellar Cloud. Thank you for tuning in. Welcome back to the Exploring Your Universe radio show. Exploring Your Universe is UCLA, and I recently found out LA County's largest science fair. Every year we have over 12,000 visitors, and we are entirely cost-free. You're here with DJ Stellar Cloud and
DJ Z.
DJ Z, aka Zoe Latimer, is a first-year undergraduate student here in UCLA's Aerospace department, but more importantly, she is the new editor of the EYU podcast. So welcome, DJ Z. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So how long have you been editing the podcast for now?
I started editing, I think, early April.
I also think it was early April, because I remember I was really sweaty coming back from the Kill the Cuts march when we were doing our interview.
Yes.
Yeah, so that was April 2nd. Okay, so you've edited a few episodes now. How has that been? Do you like it?
It's been fun. I honestly really love editing the episodes because I honestly really love science podcasts.
Okay.
So it's fun listening to everyone explain their research and what they're doing, and then also be able to do some editing and some work that way.
That's cool. I didn't realize that we qualified as a science podcast. It's just like a lot of yapping. Like if you hang out with graduate students, this is just what they'll talk about anyway. No, but that's great. And then what's been like your favorite episode to edit so far, or like a clip that you remember?
My favorite episode was probably the last one with DJ, Kay, and Ray. I think it was really, I loved their like dynamic between the two of them.
Yeah.
And how they were able to kind of like bounce off each other and know so much, obviously, about each other and each other's research. So that was really fun to see how they work together.
They're really cute. And then, yeah, I do like how they can explain each other's research. I hope my partner is also able to do that. But you never know. So what other science podcasts have you listened to before?
The main one that I listen to is Daniel and Jorge Explain the Universe. My dad actually got me on that one. He's a really big science podcast listener, so he always like sends me episodes that he thinks I'd find interesting, mainly about physics or astronomy or something like that. So yeah, that's the main one that I go to. Cool.
Daniel and Jorge, if you're listening, thank you so much for inspiring our editor. How are you balancing the editing, science podcast listening, and your very busy work schedule?
Honestly, I feel like it's a good break from my work because it makes me still feel like I'm doing something productive, but it's not so hard or kind of like studious as my other work needs to be.
That's good to hear. Also, I know I'm kind of your boss, but you're more than welcome to like talk trash about the job. I know sometimes it's really hard. When I was editing and like listening to my own voice, I was like, man, sometimes this sucks. But
yeah, definitely editing this one, listening to myself over and over again, I'm not the most looking forward to.
Well, you got this, and you have a lot of podcast editing experience, if I remember correctly. Yes. What were you doing before this?
Over the summer, I had an internship at Berkeley National Lab, specifically at the Molecular Foundry, which does a lot of research on everything basically at the nanoscale. So I intern on the communications team with Dr. Lori Chong, and every year they put out a series of podcasts highlighting different researchers at the Molecular Foundry. And it was really great because she let me pick who I wanted to research. So I got to kind of look through what everyone was doing and see which I found the most interesting. Okay. So I interviewed Dr. Alexander Stibor, and he was doing a lot of research about electron and electron microscopy and everything at the quantum scale. So I got to interview him and come up with the questions I wanted to ask him, and then edit the podcast. And this one was actually a video podcast.
Oh.
So it was definitely harder to edit.
Yeah.
Also because then when you clip things, like, it doesn't quite look right.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, we did a couple animations explaining the science research that they were doing as well to go along with what they were saying.
That's super advanced. Was this like a research experience for undergraduates thing, or how did you get involved with that?
It was for, I think, people in high school who just graduated or are going into their senior year. My physics teacher at my high school actually recommended me for it. I'd been with her for 2 years since I took AP Physics 1 and then 2. So then at the end of my senior year, she told me about the program and wrote me a letter of rec. So it was
That's
really
really
great.
cool.
Yeah.
No, I love that. I would love to someday have video on this podcast, but the budget is really getting thinner. So we'll see. Someday in the future, your job might become a lot harder.
Yes, it definitely is a lot harder, but I think it's a lot more fun to like see them also get so excited when they're talking about their research.
Yeah.
And then definitely adding on the animations was hard, but it was a lot of fun too.
Yeah, we actually these days have an in-house animator. I wasn't expecting Nicole to start making animations of our podcast, but if you haven't seen them yet, check out her Instagram for like some clips of animated versions of the podcast. Yeah. Nicole does a really good job of approximating what these people look like despite having never met them, which I always think is really cute. But
They're
I'm guessing
really cute.
You guys were making like physics animations, like ball dropping.
Yeah, yeah.
How did you do that? Like, do you have animating experience?
I honestly have never animated before, so it was pretty difficult. We were using a lot of Canva and then also use some like PowerPoint, and they have some like, it was kind of weird software, to be honest. I don't really know why they decided to go with that, but
do you like move slides along like really fast?
They have some sort of like video feature.
Oh, okay.
It was, yeah, it's some really niche part of PowerPoint.
That's so funny.
That they decided to work with. And you can just animate objects moving in curved or straight lines for the most part.
Okay. And then you guys were doing this for like particle physics?
Yeah. So the one that I was working on, there were 3 other interns, and they all chose their own researcher that they wanted to work with. But for the researcher I chose, he was working with, mostly electrons, the electron microscope, and then also an electron field emitter.
Okay. I don't know a lot about electron microscopes, so I'm guessing that you know more than I do. But what inspired you to ask this person specifically?
I mean, graduating from high school, I was really into physics. I loved my physics professors. So I really knew that I wanted to work with a physicist. Yeah. And honestly, I was really interested at the quantum level to see what they're doing. So that's why I chose him. And also I was considering, I actually came in an astrophysics major.
Okay.
So I was considering kind of pursuing research and seeing if that was something I wanted to do. But to be honest, like, I really love this experience, and it also made me realize research is not exactly what I want to do.
Okay, what made you realize research was not what you wanted to do?
I think when he was talking about it, it just sounded like working really hard and doing a ton of things and not exactly seeing your result right away or super clearly, or you're kind of doing a lot of like troubleshooting in a sense, or just working with the same instrumentation a lot, because the process definitely takes like a really long time.
Yes.
And I think for me, that kind of made me realize I wanted something a little bit more hands-on, where I'm kind of building and trying to see the product that I'm making come to life a little quicker.
I'm asking this because it's extremely accurate, but also it's not something that most people realize in their first year of undergrad. Some of them realize it like 3 years into graduate school, where they're like, oh my gosh, what am I doing with my life? You know, I've been doing the same thing for 3 years. I've also been doing the same thing for 3 years, but I enjoy it. So I'm really glad that you learned that early.
Yeah.
Did you switch out of astrophysics recently?
I switched out of it, yeah. I just switched.
Okay. That's why I thought you were an astrophysics major. And now you're in aerospace.
Yeah.
So aerospace, you are building. You will see the fruits of your labor. How did you decide to switch into aerospace?
I mean, I still love physics and astronomy, and like all my interests lay the same as when I applied to college as a astrophysics major. But after realizing research isn't what I wanted to do, I kind of thought this is probably the best switch to kind of be able to work with the same sort of things, or learn still a lot about physics and hopefully astronomy too, but be able to work on projects that I'll get to see come to life.
Are you hoping to like build rockets or telescopes, or?
I think, rockets, telescopes, something in space or working related to space is my goal.
Okay, cool. The fun fact about my partner is that he also wanted to do something similar. He wanted to go to SpaceX and work on, I forget what it was, Starship. And so he, applied there. He worked really hard on his application. He got in, and he spent the entire time, like, closing software tickets for Starlink. So people would email the Starlink people and they'd be like, Starlink, can we please have this new addition to the software? And then he would have to respond no to every single person. Like, the team already knew that they needed to say no, so he was there for like 6 months, never coded anything, I don't think, just like closed tickets. So now every time I hear, like, I love astronomy and I really want to be an aerospace engineer, this is what I'm reminded. I'm sure you'll be able to find something, because he was able to find other stuff that just wasn't at SpaceX. So what kind of classes do you get to take for your aerospace major here?
Well, the department is Aerospace and Mechanical Engineering.
Oh, is it also MAE?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Ours was called MAE.
So right now I'm taking a lot of the just like lower div intro classes, and then I'll take some like fluids and intro like thermo.
Oh, that's gonna be so fun.
Yeah. And like material science and stuff like that.
Material science is low-key where it's at these days. I think it's like going to be the next thing. Now that we're like sort of passing this AI hump, I think the next thing is going to be like, how do we make chips better? And that's going to be material science. So I'm really excited for anybody who's taking one of those classes. I keep forgetting that you're a first year and you're still taking your GEs.
Yeah.
When I was an undergrad and I was looking at the astrophysics major, the class I was most excited for was black holes. I was like, that sounds so cool. I bet when you get to that class, they're going to point at a black hole and say, this is a hole, it's big and black. It was actually like general relativity, which is like 6 or 7 integrals. In each integral, you have like a matrix of derivatives and you have to somehow integrate over a matrix. It was terrible. It was my least favorite class. So I just wanted to warn you that the classes that look the coolest might end up being the worst. No, but that's going to be fun. Do you know if you get to ever like build anything hands-on while you're here?
I don't know. I hope so. I hope definitely like as I take, because right now I haven't taken anything from the engineering
department because you just switched
yet.
over.
So I'm hoping that when I take more classes and get into my upper divs, that I'll be able to build things.
That'll be cool. And then are you thinking about trying any of the engineering research that's available here?
Yeah, I definitely have thought about it. I went to actually an engineering research fair a couple weeks ago just to kind of learn about the different types of engineering research they were doing. And that was really cool. So hopefully in the future I'll get to apply and be a part of that.
So for listeners at home, something that everybody is always asking me is, what is it like going to school at UCLA? The answer for me is like, I don't really know, because life as a grad student here is so different. So walk us through a day in your life as a first year here.
Okay. It's been a lot of fun trying to figure out my life here.
Yeah.
So right now, I'd say I've kind of settled into a bit of a schedule routine, hopefully. I usually wake up, go to the gym, and then...
Do you go to the Wooden Center?
I go to the Wooden Center.
Okay, I'm terrified of working out at the Wooden Center, because like undergrads have way more time than grad students have.
Yeah.
So there's like a separate grad student and faculty gym. Do you know about this?
No, I didn't know.
Okay, we have a small version of the Wooden Center on Kinross in grad housing so that they don't have to like run on the treadmills next to the undergrads. Okay, so you go to Kinross, you like lift weights or...
Yeah, I go to Wooden and then
that's right, sorry.
Yeah, usually do some weights and then also I do cardio at the end.
Cool.
Sometimes I'll go to the track and run up and down the like bleacher stairs.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I just did that this morning. I love doing it. Because it's also like outside, because sometimes when I go on the treadmill, it's just so like still inside. Yeah. But I know everyone's like, I can't believe you go to Wooden instead of BFit. But
okay, what's BFit?
BFit is the gym on the hill with all the undergraduate students.
Okay.
So I mean, usually if you live on the hill, you go to BFit.
Yeah.
But everyone at Wooden low-key is super into going to the gym.
Yeah.
And I'm not really at that level yet, but for me, it's just kind of everyone's so good and doing their own thing that I just do my own thing as well, and nobody really cares.
No, I mean, that's the real spirit, so you've got it right. I usually go to Wooden for yoga classes.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried those?
I actually have gone to a few yoga classes.
Okay.
I think the first 2 quarters I had the like
Group X.
Group X.
Yeah.
So I went to some yoga and some spin classes, which I really liked.
That's fun. Also, off the record, you can leave this on the podcast, but I didn't say this. Most Group X instructors don't actually check whether or not you have the Group X membership or if you've like reserved or whatever. I usually purchase mine because I really want my favorite instructor to keep going, but I do know a lot of people who just like get in without paying the $50 or whatever. So if you ever like completely out of money but really need some yoga class, which does happen, I will not rat you out. Okay, so gym every day.
Gym, I try to go, 5 times a week. And then I
5 times a week? Okay.
And then I get ready and I go to my classes. Usually I have lunch on campus with some of my friends.
Mm-hmm.
And then...
Do you guys eat at the dining halls?
Yeah, well, usually on campus I'll eat at, like, Ackerman or
Okay,
Northern Lights or something like that. But, yeah, then I go back to my dorm after my classes and hang out with my roommates. I really love my roommates. So usually we all get dinner together every night.
Oh, that's really sweet.
Yeah.
How many roommates do you have?
I have 2 roommates.
Okay,
so
are you guys
I'm
a triple?
Classic triple right now.
That's so fun.
So it's definitely, like, small, but it's so much fun.
Oh, wait, but you're almost done. Okay.
I'm almost done.
At this time in my triple, I was, like, done. Like, I'm never doing this again.
I honestly really love it.
That's good.
Yeah. No, my roommates are the best, so we're all really close, which has made it really smooth, because I know a lot of people don't have that experience, and then living in a triple is not so much fun.
Yeah, I mean, when I moved into college, I was 17, and then I was living with 2 transfer students in a triple, because I was in, like, overflow housing. So I was 17, my roommates were 21 and 24.
Oh my god.
I'm 24 this year. I can't imagine living with a 17-year-old, especially, like, a random one that you've never met. So the 3 of us are not super close anymore, which is, like, fine. The other 2 ended up getting into some beef, and I'm on good terms with both of them. But yeah, so by the end of our year, we were like, next year we all want singles, like, none of us ever want a roommate ever again. Are you going to continue living with your roommates next year?
I'm living with one of them next year. We're gonna live on the hill again. Okay. And then my other roommate is living in her sorority next year.
Oh.
So we would love to live with her again, maybe in the future. But
UCLA actually has sorority houses.
Yes,
That's
we
right.
do.
I pass by them because I live on the other side of them.
Okay, yeah.
That's cool. UC San Diego didn't have anything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we have, like, none of that. Have you visited Frat Row?
Yeah, I have a lot of friends in a couple of the frats, so I've definitely gone there a few times, and I guess it's nice that it's close to the hill.
Yeah, it's like a whole different culture here. It's very exciting.
Yes.
Speaking of which, have you ever had a celebrity sighting?
I haven't. I'm honestly really upset about it, because all my friends, when I went to LA, was like, oh my gosh, like, you're gonna see so many celebrities, like, talking it up, and I haven't seen anyone yet, so maybe next year, but...
So they closed down the movie premiere section.
Yeah.
Okay, but last year, before you got here, they, like, Wonka premiered here, and, like, Madam Web premiered here. So
oh my gosh.
A bunch of my friends who lived in grad housing and woke up at the correct time, because you had to, like, actually, like, walk to work probably around, like, 9 or 10 a.m. to, like, see people. But, like, they saw Timothy and Sydney, and I know.
Oh my gosh, I'm so jealous.
I know. You guys are really missing out.
Came at the worst time. Wow.
Hopefully they reopen those soon, because that was super fun. But yeah, I've also never run into anybody, because I was usually sleeping. But you've always lived near a college town.
Yes.
So you grew up near Berkeley. What was that like?
It was a lot of fun. I grew up in a pretty small suburb. Mm-hmm. So I was like 15-minute drive from Berkeley.
Okay.
So my friends and I would go into Berkeley all the time.
Yeah.
It was definitely like the place to go when we were like bored or wanted to go thrifting or find somewhere to eat or whatever. And then my sister is 1 year older than me.
Oh, that's fun.
And we're super, super close. And she goes to UC Berkeley.
Okay.
Which she really liked, like, being close to home. And then when I was a senior, I loved that because I went into Berkeley then all the time to go visit her.
Yeah.
And I also volunteered in Berkeley, so I went in once a week and we'd get dinner together after, and it was really fun.
What were you volunteering doing?
I volunteered with this nonprofit called Snap Kids.
Okay.
Which basically taught children with disabilities how to swim.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I did it for a couple years and I really loved it. It's honestly the thing that I've missed the most out of, like, the activities that I did in high school coming here that I had to leave behind. Because, yeah, I did it for a couple years and I had a little buddy who was 6 and he was so sweet. And definitely, like, it's such an exciting thing to see them grow, like, swimming, but also become a lot more comfortable with you.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are, like, nonverbal, but then being able to, like, express and communicate in different ways as they get more comfortable with you and, like, comfortable in the water, too.
So are you, like, a really good swimmer?
Honestly, I've never done swim team, or I guess I did it for 1 year in, like, 4th grade.
Okay, well, I would say that counts. I've never been on any swim team, so...
I'd say I'm a pretty solid swimmer, but the kids obviously, like, aren't very strong swimmers, so the whole time you're mostly just standing in the shallow end, kind of
Okay.
holding them and helping them. And then occasionally, for the more advanced ones, you can kind of let them go and they'll swim a few feet, but you're not really swimming yourself.
Okay, that's really cool, though. How did you get involved with Snap Kids?
I think my sister actually found them. So we volunteered together for a while, which was really fun. And then she stopped and I continued doing it. And yeah, I really, really loved it.
It's really nice that you and your sister are so close. I know a lot of people are, like, nervous when they have kids super close together that they're gonna, like, fight or butt heads. Did you guys ever have any of that, or...?
We definitely have our moments
Okay.
of, I mean, just, like, bickering. But since, like, as long as we can remember and, like, pictures from when we were babies, like, we've always been inseparable. Yeah, and then I also have a little brother, and he's, like, our baby.
How old's your brother?
My brother actually just turned 14 today.
Oh my gosh, happy birthday.
Yes, so happy birthday, Lucas. So he's definitely the baby of the family. He just promoted from 8th grade, so now he's in high school.
Oh my gosh, that's so cute. I forgot it's called promoting.
Yeah.
Yeah, my brother is 17, so he's also...
Wow,
yeah. He's the baby. Because, yeah, I'm 24, so when I was growing up, like, I felt like I was already an adult when he was born. But yeah, he and I are very close, but I always feel like part of why we're so close is because we're, like, far apart in age and, like, not the same gender, that there's, like, no competition. So it's really nice to see somebody who is able to overcome all the stereotypes and get along with their sister. What advice do you have to somebody who's, like, 14 or 17 and hoping to go to UCLA for college?
I would say just focus on doing what you like. I feel like a lot of people put so much pressure on college apps to kind of build their resume and do a ton of different things. Mm-hmm. But honestly, I just really stuck with doing the things that I liked in high school and really putting all my effort into them. And then also just continue with the things you're doing and try to grow as a person too, because I feel like all the things that I did in high school, like my volunteering or I did student government, really shaped me and helped me become a better speaker or a better person or do different things, and also opened up different opportunities for me. So do what you like in terms of extracurriculars and also your classes too.
So what was your involvement with student government like?
I worked in student government for 3 years and I was on a couple different boards. I worked with the diversity board just to promote equity and access across the school. I worked with some like administrators and teachers to do campus-wide equity lessons, and then a couple different like speaker talks too, where we would have equity speakers come to the school and talk and present. And then I also worked on student support, which was to help increase student access to our wellness center. And then my last year I worked on New Crew, which was all focused on freshmen and helping them transition to high school.
Oh, yeah, we had that too.
Yeah. So I helped put together our, like, mentorship program, or, like, our New Crew leaders, which were upperclassmen who mentored a group of freshman students that they got at the beginning of the year. And then also we had different lessons for the whole freshman class that New Crew leaders would go in and present. I think there was 4 throughout the entire year. Just about different things we thought freshmen could benefit from, like time management or picking classes for next year or stuff like that.
No, that's really great. So you were like super busy in high school then, and you were in 2 years of AP Physics. That's very impressive. How did you make time for all of this?
I think just being really efficient with what I did. I didn't have a lot of time to like waste. So everything that I did, I tried to do quickly, but also to my best. But I think there definitely is a place of like where you're putting in so much effort, but the results aren't really improving significantly. Yeah. So just knowing like how much effort to put in to get the best results.
This is exactly the message that people need to be hearing. Also, the other thing is like if you're about to burn out, like just stop working.
Yeah.
I had to learn that the hard way, but I learned that much later than you did. So kudos to you. My last question is, throughout your next few years here at UCLA, what are you hoping to get out of anything?
I'm definitely hoping to learn a lot from my classes, take a lot of classes that I like and enjoy, and obviously I'll start to take hopefully more like upper divs and all of that and really see what I like about aerospace engineering. And then hopefully also start some research programs or get more involved with different organizations here on campus. And then, and then just meeting new people and having fun. I really want to balance like schoolwork and a bunch of different things with also time with friends and like building new connections with everybody, because I've already met so many great people on campus, and I'm excited to know more people.
Have you already gotten to explore LA?
I haven't. That's something I really want to do too. I mostly stay on campus or in Westwood. I've gone into LA a few times, mostly when like my friends come to visit me because then they have cars.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I've gone to Santa Monica a few times. I went to the Griffith Observatory and the Getty Center.
Oh, okay.
But that's about it. I honestly stay on campus.
I mean, that's pretty good.
Always.
That's what I would tell people to go visit anyway. Also, parking at Griffith is really, really bad.
Yeah, it's really bad.
So if you already experienced that, I consider you an LA veteran, because that's like the worst. Something else I wanted to know was, how did you end up getting interested in physics and astronomy in the first place?
Yeah, I took AP Physics for 2 years in high school, and I really, really loved my AP Physics professor. Mm-hmm. She was just really great about giving us a ton of different demos and labs and stuff like that, so we could really like experiment with the physics and try to piece it together ourselves before she'd give us the lesson. Mm-hmm. And then for astronomy, I actually took, I think the summer after my junior year, I took an astronomy class at UC Berkeley.
Oh.
And I really loved that. It was so much fun. And that kind of got me starting to think about like astrophysics, like astronomy, kind of combining the two. But definitely physics has always been my main sort of interest, I think, in high school. And then my dad is also really into physics and math and all of that. So he and I talk about it, listen to science podcasts, all of that sort of stuff. So he helped kind of guide me in that direction too.
I actually have a very similar story, because I also took like all 3 years of physics that were offered at my high school. Well, I did physics 1, 2, and then I took physics C at the same time.
Okay.
Which is like, I don't know why I was doing all that.
Yeah, that's a
but
lot.
I also just like loved my physics teacher, and I think it really helped me that my physics teacher was a woman. And just like seeing a woman enjoy physics, it was like my first time like witnessing that.
Yeah.
And that was like weirdly magical.
Yeah, I agree. All my science teachers growing up were men, I think. So I think my physics professor was the first time it was taught by a woman. And actually here at UCLA, 2 out of my 3 quarters taking physics have been taught by women professors, which has been pretty like inspiring and nice to see.
I really think that this like altered my brain chemistry, like taking AP Physics with like a woman who's so passionate about physics. So thank you, Miss Jensvold, if for some reason you're listening. Are there any other final thoughts that you want to share with our audience?
Yeah, I'm just excited to keep editing the podcast and getting more involved with exploring your universe. I'm really excited for the science fair because I love working with kids and seeing what's that all about. Not super excited to edit this particular podcast.
It's gonna be fine. You sound great. Everything you said was great.
Thank you.
And you actually know our last question. Speakers are usually so caught off guard, even though I warned them before the episode, they've heard the previous episodes. So, even though you have never been to Exploring Your Universe, if you were a child at the science fair, what would you have wanted to hear?
I think I would have wanted to hear just how fun learning about science can be. I think as I was like growing up as a kid, I learned a lot about like chemistry and biology, and I was not really interested by those topics.
Yeah.
So I think I would have loved to hear a little bit more about physics and all different kinds of science and see the demos happening, because learning about demos definitely gets kids more excited. I also this quarter taught science at a middle school.
Oh, what the heck? Wait, I want to hear about this.
And it was so much fun, and it also made me realize that once kids can see it in action or build things, that they get a lot more excited about it, and it kind of clicks a lot more.
Yeah.
And that took me until high school to really realize for myself.
Wait, how did you get involved with teaching middle school, like, as a first-year undergrad?
I did it with the Cal Teach program.
Oh, yeah, I know about Cal Teach.
Yeah, so I took the science, I don't remember what the class specifically was, but science education class, and I taught 8th grade physical science.
Wow, is Cal Teach free?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
So you just sign up for Cal Teach. They give you, like, basically a short teaching credential, but in a specific field?
Yeah.
Okay, and then they send you out to a school. Which school did you go to?
I went to New West Charter Middle School.
Where's that?
It's, like, 15 minutes away from here.
Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. And I worked with this other girl that they paired me with, and she was a junior and had a car, which was super, super helpful, because I was just either going to Uber or bus there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I learned a lot. Definitely you have to be really knowledgeable about the topic to teach it, which I didn't really realize. I was like, going into it, I thought I had a pretty good grasp on my physics knowledge, and I was also like, 8th graders, like, I think I can understand what they're doing. I know more
physics than 8th graders.
But like, trying to answer all of their questions, and some of them have really interesting questions, made me kind of realize how well you need to know a topic in order to explain it.
No, that's great. I think that teaching is the best way to continue learning, and even if you didn't always feel super knowledgeable, like, you gained a lot from that experience. Even just, like, having the intuition of 6th or 7th, 8th graders is much better than having the intuition of just one DJZ. Even though you were very smart, I'm certain, but yeah,
Thank you.
Hanging out with kids is definitely, like, an eye-opening experience
really
for so
is.
many reasons. So you have done a lot of volunteering with children. Do you think that this is, like, a long-term thing for you?
I hope so. I don't know if it would become something specific in my career. I honestly have no idea what's gonna happen there.
Oh, yeah.
But
I didn't know when I was 18.
I hope to continue volunteering with children for as long as I can, because I really love it, and I think it's a lot of fun and makes me, like, grow and also, like, feel better about myself and everything.
Yes, absolutely. I think every time I'm feeling, like, super insecure, I try to volunteer, like, do something nice for somebody else, you'll just feel better.
Yeah. But...
So listen to the Exploring Your Universe podcast.
Yes.
To hear more of DJ Z's work editing out all the times I say like and Thank you so much for joining us. I had a great time. I hope you had a good time.
Yes, this was really fun. Thank you.
This is DJ Stellar Cloud and
DJ Z,
reminding you to never stop exploring.
guide me in that direction too.
I actually have a very similar story, because I also took, like, all 3 years of physics that were offered at my high school. Well, I did physics 1, 2, and then I took physics C at the same time.
Okay.
Which is, like, I don't know why I was doing all that.
Yeah, that's a
But
lot.
I also just, like, loved my physics teacher, and I think it really helped me that my physics teacher was a woman, and just, like, seeing a woman enjoy physics, it was, like, my first time, like, witnessing that.
Yeah.
And that was, like, weirdly magical.
Yeah, I agree. All my science teachers growing up were men, I think. So I think my physics professor was the first time it was taught by a woman. And actually here at UCLA, 2 out of my 3 quarters taking physics have been taught by women professors, which has been pretty, like, inspiring and nice to see.
I really think that this, like, altered my brain chemistry, like, taking AP Physics with, like, a woman who's so passionate about physics. So thank you, Miss Jensvold, if for some reason you're listening. But are there any other final thoughts that you want to share with our audience?
Yeah, I'm just excited to keep editing the podcast and getting more involved.
Thank you.
With Exploring Your Universe. I'm really excited for the science fair because I love working with kids and seeing what's that all about. Not super excited to edit this particular podcast.
It's gonna be fine. You sound great. Everything you said was great.
Thank you.
And you actually know our last question. Speakers are usually so caught off guard, even though I warned them before the episode, they've heard the previous episodes. So, even though you have never been to Exploring Your Universe, if you were a child at the science fair, what would you have wanted to hear?
I think I would have wanted to hear just how fun learning about science can be. I think as I was, like, growing up as a kid, I learned a lot about, like, chemistry and biology, and I was not really interested by those topics.
Yeah.
So I think I would have loved to hear a little bit more about physics and all different kinds of science and see the demos happening, because I feel like learning about demos definitely gets kids more excited. I also this quarter taught science at a middle school.
Oh, what the heck? Wait,